Fraser Woods Montessori School, cultivating compassion, confidence, and joy of learning. This podcast is coming to you from Fraser Woods in Newtown, Connecticut. Your host is head of school David Newman. I'm John Iannuzzi, News Director, WPKN Radio, and a parent of a Fraser Woods student. David, what a perfect time to have our inaugural podcast. It's back to school.
First and foremost, I have to assume that you had a good summer.
I did. It was busy, both here on campus. We've been doing some work and changing some spaces around and hiring and doing all the stuff, preparing for the year, like most schools. I think a lot of times people feel like summer is a quiet time, which it is quiet. However, it is a good time to get a lot of the projects done and prep for the year.
Now, I noticed every time I drove by, there were always cars here.
Yes.
So something was definitely going on.
Yes. Putting in the fence. This is contractors come in and we do electrical work. Plumbing gets done. Cleaning gets done. Manuel, I think, hopefully everybody knows who Manuel is, but he's the guy, he's the glue that keeps everything together facilities-wise, and he's the hardest working man alive. People will be happy with what they see when they come back on that Tuesday.
Back to school is the perfect time to have this inaugural podcast, and we hope that this is a nice supplement to some of the email that folks get on their inboxes from Fraser Woods, and to get to know you, David Newman, our head of school, a little better.
Great.
This is your second year?
This is the beginning of my second year, and I feel like I've got my feet under me, certainly much more than I did a year ago at this time. And I think I credit the team here, of course, but the parents have been fantastic. My first 2 years as a head of school prior to coming here was during COVID, and that was rough.
Where were you at that time?
At Washington Montessori, up in Litchfield County. A lot of people had moved out of the city and moved to their homes or bought homes up in that area. Beautiful area, but, it's the first pandemic people had gone through. And I remember getting on the weekly heads of school call with all the heads in Connecticut, and all of us sort of saying to one another, like, we've never done this before.
This is uncharted.
This is uncharted territory. So anyway, we don't need to rehash COVID, certainly, but coming here, people feeling a little more sense of calm and really craving community has really made it welcoming for me. And so I'm feeling really good about what lies ahead.
Now, as head of school, I guess there's three populations that you have to get to know and interact with: parents, students, and staff.
Yes. Students, obviously, first and foremost, and, experiencing the joy that the first day they walk in. I guess it's not always joyful the first day, but shortly thereafter, the kids feel like this is their home and they're relaxed, and seeing them in the hallways and interacting with them is just makes everything sort of go away, right? Like, you're in that moment with the kids, and what I love, especially with the younger kids, is like they don't know the joy that they bring you when they interact with you. The younger kids, just the unabashed interaction is really, really, really fun.
Listen, my favorite part of the day is when we pick up our daughter and we ask her what she did today. And sometimes she'll tell us, sometimes she won't, but, it's fantastic to see. And, that Montessori philosophy of, cultivating compassion, confidence, the joy of learning, it's alive and well here.
Yes, I obviously I would like to think it is, as the head of school, as I step back and be an objective observer. And for me, I think I see that the teacher's doing such a great job because our kids are happy. And when you're happy, you're really maximizing your learning experience. It took me a long time to figure that out, because I dreaded school for a long time, and it was kind of a slog for me for a while. But then when I sort of bought in and became, the happier I became during my school day, I was really able to take advantage of the learning experience. And I think our teachers create that atmosphere here. It's fantastic.
Talk to us about our teachers this year, 2023, 2024. What changes are taking place? What should parents listening to this podcast know coming into the new school year?
Well, we have some new teachers coming on board. Christine Sargent is our new head toddler teacher. Where we've expanded to 3 toddler classrooms and still have a waiting list. So we could, if we had the space, we could have more, which is nice. We're doing something right. Christine brings a depth of Montessori experience. She's been a head teacher at other places and a field consultant, and she will be joined by Lisette Geddes, who many people listening to this will remember. She's returning after a year off, having spent time with her newborn. And she is also, so she's a veteran teacher at Fraser Woods. She's a certified Montessorian. So that classroom is all set and ready to go with a couple of professionals. We have Marissa Frisk, who was a new head primary teacher, and she also has a long history of working in Montessori schools, been a lead teacher for a long time. She makes her own materials, which is really neat. I believe she has a website, but I'll let her share that at some point.
Future guest on the podcast?
Exactly. Molly Smith is will be an assistant teacher in Mrs. Hood's toddler classroom. She is a certified Montessori teacher as well, with 10 years of lead teaching experience. Jill Skilton, we are welcoming as our new Director of Communications and Marketing and our afternoon program coordinator. I have worked previously with Jill. She brings a wealth of experience. She is also a mother of 2 Montessori graduates who are out thriving in the world. Deborah Rossler will be an assistant teacher in upper elementary. She has a ton of energy and enthusiasm. She is a Girl Scout troop leader in Danbury, and she's got all kinds of talents. I'm excited for people to get to know her. And then I mentioned Lisette as well. So it's really, they're adding to what I think is a really fantastic staff. They're going to bring lots of things to the table.
And some folks are taking on double duty, right?
Yeah. Zach Brown will be adding PE to his resume, which he's really excited about. People who know Zach know that he's an outdoorsman. He lifts weights. He does all kinds of
tattoos.
He's got some tattoos. He's got a motorcycle. I don't know if many people know that. So, and he and I are talking, have lots of ideas of how we can expand both our PE and our competitive sports programming and getting more people involved. So Angie Cretella who has played a lot of soccer in her life, is going to join in coaching. I might join in basketball. I coached basketball for 25 years, and I miss it. And if I get a chance to get back into it, I think I'll do it.
I've never met anyone who coaches who doesn't love it.
Yeah.
It really is something that you have to love to do and to be successful at.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's similar to teaching is you get to tap into kids' talents and interests and really try to help them maximize that experience and find joy in it. And, so coaching and teaching, there's a lot of crossover there.
So when you talk about something like expanding the PE program here, what does that look like?
That's a good question. Yeah. I think offering some different components to, the changing the curriculum a little bit and broadening. We introduced last year, I think might have been the first year, we got kids playing pickleball, for example. Pickleball is all the rage.
Way to tap into a fad, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But is it a fad? I think it's here.
It's here.
Yeah.
Yeah. On my Instagram feed, I see some, I get some pickleball moments that are pretty amazing.
You bring up a good point that I wanted to ask you about. How is the curriculum shaped, not just for phys ed, but for just the whole school?
Yeah, I mean that's a complicated question, but and we could talk about it for hours. But Montessori really dictates the flow of things, right? You've got the mixed age groups, and all the head teachers go through a pretty rigorous training for that level to get certified in primary or lower L or whatever it might be, and the use of the materials allowing for sort of phased learning as kids master, they move on, but within that primary level, which is 3-year-old, 4-year-old in kindergarten, there is a prescribed curriculum, if you will, that comes with Montessori. So then is where it changes and becomes a little more, starts to move away from a Montessori prescribed curriculum is really in the middle school. So middle school, our 6, 7, and 8 grades is more like a typical independent or private middle school curriculum, while holding on to some of the core tenets of what a Montessori school embraces, the emphasis on global learning and empathy and, all of the things that make us a great community.
And keeping pace with technology,
Sure.
whether AI or 3D printing or...
Yeah, exactly. Not a lot of schools with our grade levels have the benefit of Makerspace, Fab Lab, the technology, and we've got some work to do in that area too. But Montessori does struggle with creating that balance between sort of a traditional Montessori experience and what to do with technology. The kids these days, younger and younger, are walking around with basically computers in their hands on these phones, and so we can't act like those don't exist. We can't act like they're not on devices, and getting them to understand the value of those from a learning standpoint without just allowing them to go crazy with them. That's the balance we are working on here, trying to get them to take responsibility and use them in a responsible way.
David Newman, we're back to school is here, and I wonder if you could give some advice to parents listening. What can we do to prepare in our last week here as the run up to back to school?
Well,
which should be on our checklist.
Yeah, I think going back into your emails, number one, to see if you missed any or decided to put one off. You will have gotten emails about my FWM, which is the portal for the parents, and that's sort of a one-stop shop for a lot of the information, upcoming events, where to input your family information, the directory, all those things, sort of learning or educational platform for your children. You should have gotten an email from your teachers and from the school about the particular level that your kids are attending, with sort of classroom logistics. All in all, I would say, and certainly for the new parents, don't be afraid to make a mistake.
The Spring Gala was dubbed, which was a great success. A lot of people worked very hard on that. It was dubbed Here We Grow. And you were telling me off air that grow is exactly what we've done here. Talk to us about the growth in our student population.
Sure. Last year, our first day of school, we had 129 students show up on the first day. Throughout the year, the application process and visits and everything happen. Paramita does a wonderful job steering that, the admission process, enrollment process. We had a record number of parent visits and applications this year, and we will be welcoming 160 students on the first day of school this year, which is about 20% growth from one year to the next. It's great. I mean, we have a wait list at certain levels. Not every family who came and applied or wanted to come was a right fit for us, or we weren't the right fit for them. So, the interest, I say that just to sort of paint the picture of the level of interest. And I think it's people like yourself and other parents who are clearly talking positively out in the community about what's happening on campus and inside the building. And the word is spreading. And I think, we have a great staff that provides a first-rate experience, parents who care, a community that definitely looks to present itself to Newtown and the surrounding areas and show who we are. Fingers crossed, we can continue to grow in the right way.
People can schedule a visit, come visit, see active, engaged learning. The website, fraserwoods.com, right? Schedule a
Yes,
tour.
you can go on through the website or just give us a call.
What does a tour consist of?
Yeah, so family shows up or they make their appointment either with a phone call or through the website. They arrive, and Paramita takes them around and shows them. I really recommend that parents try to come and visit when school's in session as much as possible. I know sometimes people don't think about this as an option until maybe summer, or maybe they can only get here on school vacations, but I really encourage to see the life of the place. So anyway, Paramita will take you around, show you all the spaces, sit and talk. Oftentimes, I'll have a chance to talk with these prospective families. Then after that, if they are interested, they put in an application, and then the child comes and visits for a second time and spends time in the classroom and with teachers. So it's a very intentional process.
It's a worthwhile exercise.
Yes.
The social media, the Instagram, FW Montessori on Instagram.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Encourage people to check that out. And obviously, if you've enjoyed this podcast, subscribe, because next month we'll have a 1-month update. Now, before I let you go, there is a meet and greet scheduled soon, right?
Yes. So the toddler, primary, and both elementary levels have meet and greets. Those schedules it came out in one of the communications. So if you go back into your emails, it should be clear. That's a great opportunity for parents to hear from the teachers, see the space, but also, and I think maybe most importantly, get to know other parents, especially the new parents. I mean, this is a great opportunity to begin to immerse yourself in the community. And I'd like to think that all of our parents, veteran parents, are just so welcoming and happy and excited for the school year to begin, that they would really love to meet the new families.
This only works as a community.
Correct.
David Newman, great job. Thank you for the update.
Thank you, John.
And we look forward to hearing from you next month.
Yeah, this will only get better, right?
Thank you so much.